What's up, titas and titas? Jayden Conde here. You are watching TitoFit. In this channel, we talk about health, we talk about fitness, and if you want some free tips on fitness, on health, on building muscle, on losing fat, this is the channel for you. So if you have not, please subscribe so you don't miss a lot of our tips, and this is all for free. All we ask is that you hit the like button in exchange, and hopefully the bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Hi guys, so a lot of errands today, running around Metro Manila. Medyo wild yung traffic lately, so parang what quarantine? Anong quarantine? Kasi supposedly naka-work from home pa ang karamihan ng tao. Pero based sa traffic na to, sa palagay ko hindi yata. So in this video, this is gung-ho. I didn't want to miss a video for you guys, and please forgive me if there's gonna be some things here that I say na I might have been confused, because all of this is just coming off the top of my head. And I've had this video prepared for some time. It's just that, as you can see, there's no laptop here. I don't have a cheat sheet or so this is all gonna be impromptu for you guys. So I'm gonna give you some ways so that you can get the most out of your workouts. Now, whether you are trying to build muscle or lose fat, with a little bit of bias towards losing fat, of course, that's what this video is going to be about. A lot of us work out. We know that if you're watching this channel, if you've been with us for a while, I'm guessing that you live a somewhat active and fitter lifestyle than most people, right? Para hindi sayang yung efforts, as much as possible, you may want to do these things to get the most results that you possibly can. So the first one is that before a workout or on your workout days, I recommend that you get at least 7 hours of sleep the night before. Why is that? It's because sleep affects a lot of hormones. So sleep per se, in and of itself, is not responsible for building muscle or burning fat like directly. Although it is very, very much involved in processes like recovery. So it helps your muscles to rest between workouts. It helps your brain to recharge between workouts. And like I always say, your brain, your mind is very important when you work out. A workout is just as much involving your mind as it does your body. So you need to get some sleep. As I mentioned before in one of our previous videos, so they did this study wherein participants only got, I think, 5 hours of sleep as compared to those who were getting about 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And the big takeaway was that they lost practically the same amount of weight. So pareho lang naman yung nawala na timbang sa kanila. The big difference was in the percentage of fat na nawawala dun sa timbang versus yung mga kulang sa tulog, those who were sleeping about only 5 hours, were losing more muscle in that weight. So you don't want to lose that. So ideally, you want to carry more muscle on your frame, because muscle is actually a metabolically active type of tissue. By that, it means that when you carry more muscle, the muscle actually burns more calories at rest already than if it was mostly fat. With that, you want to get your rest in, so that one of the reasons being you get to burn more fat, another being that your muscles recover better. So in between workouts, you'll be able to recover much faster. Alright, Manila traffic. So guys, may nagsusubok sumingit. Alright, next thing you may want to do so that you maximize the results you're getting from your workouts. Okay, if you are training in a fasted state, as some of you are, and some of you who do practice intermittent fasting, you like to work out earlier in the day to get that out of the way, so that after your workout you get to break your fast. Now, if you're into that, you may want to caffeinate before you work out, but remember, keep it black. Yung coffee, dapat black coffee lang, walang asukal, walang cream, walang anything like that, kasi pag nangyari yon, sayang. hindi mo na matitake advantage yung effects ng coffee that help you burn more fat, okay? So, as we know, black coffee in and of its own is halos wala yung calories. Pero, pag nilagyan natin ng asukal yan, ang mangyayari is your insulin will spike. And what happens when your insulin spikes? Insulin is a hormone that transports certain things. It's a transportation hormone. Now, the problem is with insulin, when it spikes, it's a signal to your body to, kind of start like storing fat. So you don't want that. So you don't want to do that. So black coffee on its own will not spike your insulin at all. Now, for those of you who do like to take bulletproof coffee, like if you like to put butter in your coffee and that kind of thing, that's not gonna spike insulin as well. But be careful of your fat intake, and remember, that is kind of high in calories, and at the end of the day, calories in, calories out. And yes, I know it's more than just energy balance. Hormones are involved. Every decent coach or trainer knows that. All right, so you may want to caffeinate, and if you're interested in preserving muscle as well, you may want to add some branched chain amino acids to that, or BCAAs. So a caveat with BCAAs, it spares muscle, it preserves muscle, it prevents you from losing muscle, especially if, like I said, you do train in a fasted state. A little bit of a caveat though, for BCAAs to work, the first thing you have to understand is that you have to meet your protein requirements. Your protein requirements for gaining muscle mass are at about a minimum of about 0.8 grams for each pound that you weigh. So that means that if you weigh 200 pounds, you have to meet at least 160 grams of protein daily. At least. Ideally, try to get it closer to 1 gram per pound if you want to build more muscle and burn more fat. And then you structure the rest of your diet around that. So that's also one thing that you could do. So with BCAAs, I use a product called Flux BCAAs by Whale Nutrition Company. So we did a video about their Just Whale versus their Prime Whey Isolate. Just Whey versus Prime Whey Isolate. So we did a video comparing the two, isolate versus concentrate. Check that out. So meet your protein requirements by drinking whey protein, having some quality protein sources from beef, fish, chicken, pork even sometimes, eggs, stuff like that. But let's go back. We're moving away from off topic already. So branched chain amino acids, BCAAs. I like using Flux because they only use stevia. As you guys know, for most of you guys who've been with this channel for a while, I don't like sucralose or ASK or acesulfame potassium. Those artificial sweeteners are linked with some problems in the gut. So as we know, gut health is very important. So I'm not a fan of those artificial sweeteners, but stevia is okay. And Whale's Flux only uses stevia. So there. Now, number 3, when you're working out, now you're in the gym, you slept well, you caffeinated, had some BCAAs, you can function now properly. You want to prioritize, once you get to the gym, you want to prioritize your big lifts first. These compound multi-joint movements. These movements are going to give you the most bang for your buck as far as working out is concerned. They work the most muscle groups in your body. When we say the big lifts, we're talking about your squats, your deadlifts, your presses. When we say multi-joint, that means that there's action at more than one joint. So this is the shoulder joint, this is your elbow joint. That's 2 joints basically. So if I was doing a curl, a bicep curl for example, there's only movement at one joint. The movement will only be restricted to the elbow joint. So that is a single joint exercise versus a press. When you're pressing, for example, or to use the biceps as an example, when you're pulling down, you're doing your pull-ups or your chin-ups or even like say lat pull-down machine, that is working at two joints, the shoulder and the elbow. Hence, it is a multi-joint movement. So whenever you work a certain muscle group, you want to hit the multi-joint movements first before you move on to the single joint movements. Okay, so that means also that you prioritize the bigger body parts, the bigger muscle groups in your body. That includes your legs, your quads, your hamstrings, your chest, your back, your hips, even if you like training the Olympic lifts and things like that, like you do cleans, you do snatches, even some high power movements can also be prioritized before, like, say, for example, if you're to do cleans, you do that first before you do your squats, especially if you're wanting to go heavier. The late great Charles Poliquin always recommended that you do the power lifts first before the even heavy lifts like squats, because power comes in short supply. So as we know, a lot of power movements use ATP as the preferred fuel source, and that does come in very short supply. So once you run out of ATP, your body takes some time to resynthesize it again. So prioritize those big lifts. Number 4. Alright, here's the thing to get the most out of your workouts. Let's go to structuring your workout. Now when it comes to structuring your workout or programming your workout, you want to pick about 3 exercises for the bigger muscle groups, like I said, like their back, your chest, your shoulders, your quads, maybe even your hamstrings. You want to pick about 3 exercises. Now when you do that, like I said, going back to the previous, prioritize the big lifts first. For example, let's take leg day for an example. Let's say on leg day, you have to do your squats first, your back squats, your barbell back squats first. Why? Because it's the compound multi-joint movement. Now you wanna, of course, lift the heaviest in that exercise. You could follow that up with probably leg presses or lunges, both multi-joint movements, and finally, to finish it all off, maybe a set of leg extensions, a couple of sets of leg extensions, which is a single joint exercise, as we all know. So there you have your 3 exercises. For the smaller muscle groups like biceps, triceps, you maybe even calves, if you train calves, if you're a bodybuilder like that, bodybuilders definitely train calves, so you probably want to pick maybe 2 exercises only as compared to the 3 for your major muscle groups. Now when you have picked your exercises, do about 2 to 4 sets of those. Now don't go the way of too many sets. Maybe in a given workout, you want to limit yourself to below 15 sets in total. The reason for that being, most people who train, we train natural and without the assistance of certain performance enhancers. The more you train, the more volume you put into your workout, the more recovery that's going to take. That means you're going to have to eat even more protein, things like that. You're gonna have to sleep longer, and in some cases, professional bodybuilders, they even use certain drugs to help them recover faster. Okay, that's one of the things that Arnold Schwarzenegger used to say. He used to say, people would accuse him, about, your body's only like that because of steroids and that kind of thing. But Arnold would always say, steroids give him that extra 1%, to recover. And of course, in this channel, we don't recommend that you do that, okay? We don't recommend that you take PEDs, performance-enhancing drugs, such as steroids, because they do have a big risk when it comes to your health for that. Life is not all about building the most muscle you want, unless you are a professional bodybuilder. But for titos and titas, you just want to be healthy, you just want to be fit, look good, have a better quality of life, and hopefully not get sick from chronic degenerative diseases such as heart disease, cancer, diabetes, things like that. Now, so that's the structure as far as the programming goes, programming or structuring your workout. And finally, the last thing for you to be able to maximize this workout is after the actual workout, you want to eat a protein-rich meal. Now, a protein-rich meal is not always accessible. So in this case, you'll want to supplement with a quality protein powder. Now, right after you work out, your body has about is a faster rate of muscle protein synthesis. That means that it will use the protein to build muscle faster, at a faster rate, and it will absorb it much faster too. Now remember, protein is not only used for muscle, it's also used to restore and regenerate other tissues such as your hair, skin, nails, things like that. Other tissues, that's what protein does. It builds tissues. But immediately after your workout, the thing is, certain hormones are activated so that it's more favorable to muscle growth. So you want to eat a protein-rich meal. And here's the thing, don't be scared of carbohydrates after your workout. Even if you are on a low-carb diet, you'll want to take most of your carbohydrates during that day in that meal right after you work out. So in case you don't have access to a protein-rich meal, such as a rice, steak, or whatever, or a lot of fish, or like that immediately, this is where supplementation comes into play. Now, here's the time that you can supplement with whey protein powder. What I like to do is I like to mix yogurt with my whey smoothie, and I like to mix some berries in there as well. So put in some antioxidants with the protein smoothie, and I have something yummy, kind of tastes like a Jamba juice or a smoothie that you can get, and it's actually a treat. It crushes my cravings for sweet things, like, you know, that won't be too good for my health and for my body. So titos and titas, that is all for today's video, and I hope you liked this video. You appreciated those tips. Please don't forget to give it a like if you've gone this far. You know, I know a lot of you watch these videos. Sometimes you get like more than 1,000 views and stuff, but then you're only gonna get like 50 likes. What's up with that? It's all free. That's the least we're asking. That's all we're asking of you guys, is to just give it us a like. It's all for free. Alright guys, and we're not hyping you up. We're not giving you some false claims here like, oh, you're gonna burn 600 calories in 4 minutes. None of that crap. So that's it for today, titos and titas. Thank you for always watching our videos, and don't forget to stay fit. See ya.